Hi guys, this is Zach from Watches on You, and today I'm going to be taking a look at a very cool Oris. This is the Oris Carl Brashear Limited Edition Chronograph. Now, a while back, Oris released the Carl Brashear Diver 65 watch, which was a bronze-cased regular Diver 65 with date being the only complication. Now they released this, which is the chronograph version of the Diver 65 watch, but it has come also in the beautiful bronze case with the stunning deep blue dial. So, this watch, right away in my opinion, I'd just say that I love the look of this watch. I think it looks better than the previous limited edition, and because I love two-dial chronographs. I love how clean they keep the dial, but yet they give you that very, very useful function and the cool look of having a chronograph. And one other thing I also like that they did was they didn't put a date complication on the dial. A lot of times I think date complications can just spoil dials because they'll ruin symmetry, or sometimes the wheel color won't necessarily match up with the dial, and so I just think that they don't look good a lot of the time. So I really love how they just gave it a regular 2-counter chronograph without a date. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. But right away I'm going to go over this watch's main attraction, which is the 43mm bronze case. So the case on this watch I really, really like. I love the polishing and the brushing on it. And what's really cool about bronze is that it's basically a living metal. So as you wear this watch, you're going to start to be wearing it'd be like you're wearing different watches over time, because as the bronze oxidizes, it will get a totally different tone. And you can actually see that it's on this one. You can see little aspects of the tarnishing already beginning to start, and that's because bronze just does it naturally. It's like if you have regular just cast iron, it's going to do it over time. That's how bronze works, and it kind of turns into a more, I guess, deep kind of gold. It still has a little bit of the goldish tone, but not quite as much. It's more of has some kind of darker aspects to it, and it looks very, very interesting as you wear, and especially over time you'll get to see the change from this, which is almost kind of a rose gold, to a deeper, and really it becomes a more kind of matte tone to the watch. But I love the polishing on this. The polished bronze just really, really shines. The brushing also shines. I love the diver's bezel. It just looks great. I love how they polished the indexes on the bezel, but then gave it a kind of bead blasted background. It really gives a nice contrast and makes it a lot easier to read. And I also love how the blue accents the bronze. I think blue and bronze really, really match up well together. And I like how they made the indexes on the dial bronze as well, and same with the hands. They all gave them that nice bronze tone. Now this watch does have the chronograph, which is the added feature of this watch. Now, this chronograph movement, it's not going to be an in-house movement. It will be a generic movement, and that's really, being that this watch, it is a limited edition. It's available for around, I believe, $5,000. So being a limited edition bronze watch at that price point, you wouldn't necessarily expect them to, especially since it's a chronograph, you wouldn't really necessarily expect an in-house movement. I know Tudor provides that on their on the Black Bay bronze, but this watch has a chronograph, and finding a chronograph around that price point, let alone a limited edition with an in-house movement, is pretty hard to do. So it doesn't necessarily go against this watch that much. So now I'm going to demonstrate that chronograph. So as always, you're going to start it with the upper pusher. Watch it go around for a little bit there. You can see very smooth. It's automatic movement. And then we'll stop it. And then you can reset it with the bottom as well, and boom, just flies right back to 12 with really no delay. So one other thing with this watch is it does have a diver's bezel. So the bezel, the action of it's very good. It's 120 click, and it locks down fairly well. I will say there is some wiggle there, but it's not too bad. I felt worse. So it is a fairly good bezel, I will say. And I'd say, again, it looks very, very good in bronze, but the action is, it's okay. I'll say it's okay. It will get the job done with no problem. It just doesn't necessarily feel as nice as some other watches. Now, this watch, being that this watch is made to be kind of a heritage dive watch, it should have some kind of diving capability. So they gave it 100-meter water resistance, which some people will say, oh my gosh, that's not a dive watch. You need to have at least 200 meters. But in actuality, a lot of divers are just recreational divers, and they're going to be going down only like 40 or 50 feet. So this watch should easily be able to cover that. That's well under 100 meters. And some people think that you need the 200 meters. You really don't. I mean, it's got a screw-down crown and everything, so it should be able to keep the water out pretty well. I wouldn't really worry about it that much unless you're truly an extreme diver and you need that extra water resistance. I wouldn't think that this should ever be an issue. So the visibility, though, of the dial and the bezel is not going to be that great if you are diving with it or in darker situations, because you can see the indices, they do kind of the indexes on the bezel do kind of blend in with the background. I mean, they're polished, so in bright light you can see, but if it gets a little bit more dim, it might be a little harder to read. And the dial, though, the visibility is fairly good. They did put a little bit of kind of a fake patina on the lume there, so that might make it a little bit less legible, but overall you should not have a problem. But now let's move on to the wrist shot. So actually, before I go on the wrist shot, I'm talking about the strap. So the strap is a very, very high quality, supple leather strap. I really, really like the feel of it. It just feels very, very nice in the hand, very smooth. Same with the inside, and there's really, really no problems with it. It feels very, very high quality. You get a pin buckle bronze clasp as well, which will change with the case of the watch over time too, which is very cool. But now let's put it on the wrist. So on the wrist, this watch, being that this watch is 43 millimeters, I'd say it wears very, very nice. I really love the look of the bronze and blue dial. They really complement each other nicely, and I think this is honestly one of the best looking watches I've seen. I love the domed crystal as well. I think really all the design aspects of this piece are done very, very nicely, especially for a mid-tier luxury watch. I think this watch is fantastic. Now, the feeling on the wrist is great. There's really no problems there. The leather strap really molds to the shape of your wrist, and the bronze case, there's no issue there. The lugs slope downward nicely. And I love also how that brown leather does complement the bronze case as well. Really, all the color matching on this piece is done very nice. Well, it really all complement each other. So one interesting thing, though, I'd like to point out is that on the back, excuse the sticker there, it actually does have just a regular stainless steel back. And the reason that is because you don't really necessarily want oxidizing metal near your skin. I mean, there's no problem with it. It just might be a little bit odd, and the oils in your skin can actually help to accelerate the process. So that's why actually most bronze watches don't have bronze case backs, just because the oils of your skin can kind of mess with it, and it might not necessarily be as nice on the feel of your wrist after it oxidizes. So overall, this watch is a limited edition of 2,000 pieces, and being that it's 2,000 pieces, that's not really truly limited in my mind. That's a lot of watches that they're still making. I think for a limited edition watch, it should be under 500 or 500 and under for a very truly limited edition. But this watch provides really one of the best designs out there. I'd say it's probably my favorite looking heritage dive watch out right now. I really love the bronze and the 2-dial chronograph as well. It's available here at JB Hudson for a price of $4,950. And I mean, all things considered, that it is a limited edition bronze case and just the beautiful design of this watch, it really is a pretty good value. I mean, I don't really know of other watches that provide such a good design like this around that price point. So thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.